Yes, your work might be different from your personal brand. I will say it again. Your job as a professional can be different from your personal brand. This is because individuals has their interest on how to make money, how to be happy, and what they themselves can deliver easily. It is one thing about life. However, it is important if you're building your personal brand around what you do as a person. It is very important. If you are a chef, you can't just come out and tell us that you are a gym instructor. That's your personal brand. That you always, tomorrow we are seeing you advertising. Though there is a way you can mix them up, but those two things are different words of their own. So that's that. So another part we're going to dive into is why every professional needs a personal brand. This is also part of what I explained before, but I will just list them down. Why do you need a personal brand as a professional who is working in a bank? Why do you need a personal brand as a professional who is in tech? Why do you need a personal brand as a chef? Why do you need a personal brand as an engineer? One, it establishes trust and credibility. Example, if you are a chef and you have a personal brand with 10,000 followers, do you think you have the same do you think you have the same um, do you think you have the same chance of getting securing a job with somebody else who doesn't have engagement online or doesn't have a path that everybody can see that this person has been like this for a long time? When I go to your socials, if I can be able to see or to read, one of the other things people don't also understand is that people try to get who you are from most of the things you write about and post about. These days, I don't know if some of us fully understand that when you apply for jobs these days, they try to gain access to your socials, to check through your socials, to know more about you, your interests. This is not just for nothing's sake. Even embassies, these days, when you want to travel, they want to know. They want to know. So, what do you think it's not necessary? Do you think it's not necessary if these people really want to go to your socials to know more about you? They don't want to ask anybody about you. Guess who they want to ask about you? You. They are asking you about you. What do you give out? They want you to tell about you. Tell your own story. What other people have about you is an opinion. What you establish is trust and is the truth and it's credible. So establish trust and credibility through personal brand. It makes everything easier. Another part is it creates career opportunities and global visibility. If as a brand identity expert, you as Mr. Shegu, for instance, you have a brand, you are looking for a brand expert, somebody who can help you create your brand identity. If I make a bidding and then you go through my socials and see that I have international collaborations, I have some volunteering services and other things I've accomplished over the years. You are not going to see me as just any expert you're working with. You see me with an eye of, oh, so this guy knows his onion. This guy I'm working with, he actually knows what he's doing. Same with every other profession. If you are a financial expert, if you always drop nuggets on finances on your socials, it gives this impression that this guy is doing good on both domestic and global stage. You are dominating. It makes it easier for everybody. Another part is why you need personal brands. It differentiates you in a crowded marketplace. Everybody knows about this. It sets you apart. It builds professional influence. Knowingly or unknowingly, you influence other professionals. You might not know this, but it's good to also know that you influence people. So when you have a personal brand, you easily use it to influence and tell people more about both you and other things. So another part of it is future proofs your career in digital first world. When you have a personal brand, it's like the discussion we were having, Mr. Shego, you said that your office, you have a fast-paced environment. Anything can happen. You know, one of the fears, even people working for brands and companies, one of the reasons people want to be self-employed is what we call job security. Nobody wants to wake up tomorrow and COVID hits. And in the middle of crisis, you are laid off. And trying to seek or get another job becomes an issue. If you have a personal brand, you are an asset to that company because each time you appear in the company's events, you are posting yourself, you are advertising for free for the brand, the company. You're almost like an influencer and like you're an influencer and also employed at the same time. So what company we want to put your job security at risk? No company will want to have that because one is if you say a thing to your followers, your followers might actually build up a ripple that will also affect the company. So having a personal brand as a professional, it makes your future, it makes your career have this future proof and in a way. So those are things that a professional needs to know about building a personal brand and why they need it. Another part is tools that aid personal branding. What are the tools? So, ending of last year, I enrolled and attended um, a digital um, course program that lasted for 3 months. And during that period, I also attended an entrepreneur class. And one of the things I learned was tools and excuses. There are tools that we need as a personal brand, but those tools, you don't need all those tools for you to start out as a person. You need to start where you are with what you have and with what you know. There are actually two types of personal brand. There are personal brands where people learn alongside the individuals. Like myself, even in branding till today, I'm still learning. There are some things I will see, I'll be like, wow, I'll have to make research about it. You don't need to know it all to have a personal brand. I think this is a topic on its own. You don't need to know everything about that. It is okay for people to ask you things you don't know. It is okay for you to get back to them. So those things are things we should know. So tools that we need, one is social media, and not just a social media. Social media where your target audience are. Who are your target audience? If you are in the entertainment industry, please, Mr. Shegu, what will you be looking for on? Not some of them are on LinkedIn, but what will you really be looking for on LinkedIn? You feel you shouldn't really be that active on LinkedIn. Where are your target audience? Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and the rest of them. Live events. So know where your target audience are. Go to them there, meet them there. So that's it. So social media like LinkedIn for networking, authority posts, and the rest of them. We also have personal website portfolio. That's that. We have Canva. Canva is also good for non-designers to create consistent visual identity. Canva helps you for those who can't afford designers. Canva will help you maintain a consistent visual identity. And Shegu, you know what happened when you sent the flyer design, and you remember, right? So
Yes,
all
yes, I
those
remember.
things, yeah. So as little as a detail is, it can actually shake probably one person, just one person. It might actually give out something you might not really sense to just one person. So it's also good that if you are building a personal brand and you have the means, you see the part of your designs, how you appear on your designs, it is non-negotiable. Hire a professional that can build an identity for you and maintain that identity. Then if you can't, why on Canva? Also study about brand identity alongside your personal branding to know a little or a lot about brand identity. So that's that. So we also have professional photos. Please, AI is not a professional short for professionals. See, we talked about authenticity. I don't know how to express this, but people want to connect with you on your hollow polloi, like on your they don't people don't want to over people don't want to see you on another day and be like, wow, is this person? So why are they people want to get you as you are? So please, just professional photos. Don't just post for posting. Choose what you post. As we said earlier, that you don't just present every part of you. You have to streamline what part of you present and how you present it. It is that important and is not negotiable because every moment you present a part of you that is questionable, guess what? It will be questioned. So at every point, please just try to maintain that professional. However, we talked about if you can't, where you are, start where you are. It is not a these days. People prefer to see videos shot with normal cameras that are not professional gears. People sit down, they connect with those videos, they stream them, meaning that people don't really care. Check online, check videos that has highest views. They were not shot with professional gears. Most of those videos they were shot with Android phones, and they have millions of views, more than even movies in box office that had millions and billions of budgeting. It tells you that people want you to be who you are. People want to connect with you as a person. They don't leave the flash. If you can afford it, fine. If you can't, there is also a room for you. Another part is through leadership via blog post, podcast, speaking, like you are doing, Mr. Shegu. Um, through your media post and other things, people can actually sense your level of professionalism and what they can trust you with. Through what post you make about your work and your personal brand, people can trust. Okay, since this person, and funny enough, some of your posts might actually answer a question to a prospect without you having to answer it yourself. Because will just stumble over it and be like, okay, okay, okay. Oh, they won't have to ask again because they've seen it. So that's it. So we also have requirements to build. Okay, before the requirements to build a personal brand, I know I talked a little about visuals, but we also have brand colors, logos. Now, this brand coloring and logos, it is optional. You get me? I know I must have weighed these two things well. I've weighed you starting from where you are and what you can do with professionalism, being professional about what you are doing. I've weighed them. Brand colors and logos, they are optional, but they are important. Logo is not as important as in personal branding. Logo, no. You get no. But you see color. Color, every human being has their temperaments and they have a feel. Some people are warm. Some people are high spirited. Some people are like this. Some people are like that. Some people are reserved. Some color sometimes has a role it plays. And at times when you maintain those colors consistently, it helps build your personal brand in a way that people don't need to see your picture to know that this is coming from you. Sometimes just by your style of design or something, people should be able to know that. So when I actually worked with a startup South by Mr. Uche. So when I was working on this startup South X with Mr. Uche, when we were crafting the logo, there are some things Mr. Uche made me understand. Mr. Uche himself is the one telling me what to do as a designer, but he has what and how his brand feels and how he wants his brand to feel. And throughout his work over the years, you see that same identity being repeated. So without even seeing the name, once you see those style, you know. So that's that about color and the rest of them. So there are requirements you need to build a strong personal brand. One of it is clarity.
Yeah, just to
Clarity,
not sorry to interrupt you,
okay,
but you have like 11 minutes more. So,
11 minutes,
but just
okay.
yeah, but just
Uh,
like you said, we might have to have a part two because to be honest, we
huh?
are dishing out so many jams. Like, is a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we might have to have a part two. But I just wanted to that's like be conscious of the time. Go ahead.
All right. So let me just give five then instead of that. I will just read out the highlights.
Okay.
But I'll still talk about the important ones
Okay.
to
Good.
everything. It's okay. So one of the requirements is actually clarity. You should know your niche. We've talked about niche and your target audience as well as your value. That's that. I will talk a little about consistency. Consistency is equal to trust. Consistency is equal to trust, or consistency equals trust. Consistency is what builds trust. Why do our parents always repeat things that they want us to know how important they are? They will say that thing three times and they will ask you, how many times did I say this? You repeat after them three times. It shows that consistency builds the seriousness on that thing. So, as a personal brand, it is very important for you to be consistent in whatever you are doing, both in your color, be consistent, both in the your niche, be consistent, both in this, be consistent in whatever you are doing. So that's that. That across all platforms. I'm not talking about just on LinkedIn. I'm talking about if somebody should move from your LinkedIn and go to your Instagram. They should still see the same thing. If they move from your Instagram and go to your TikTok, they should still be the same thing. So that's consistency. So have content, share valuable insights related to your profession. This part is a part that a lot of people think they can be a professional in this aspect and also be a comedian at night. You can't be a professional telling people about this and probably as at night you are a comedian on your one of your socials or this. I'm not saying you shouldn't have fun. You should have fun. But when people go to your socials, let it be that the last 5 or 10 posts that they will see on your social reflects what your personal brand is about. I'll repeat this. When people go to your social should be able to hold what your niche is. People should be able to see you talk about that same thing over and over and over. They shouldn't see you talk about this and probably stop somewhere. And you can, but let your niche and what you are talking about as a professional be more, and let it be easy fetch. Let it not be far fetched. So that's about contents, character. We all know your reputation matters more than your post. If you have anyhow character, questionable character, it will hinder you. Community. This part is very important, but I'm just going to cut it short. Community building. 2025, one of the things that people came to realize mattered a lot was community. If you can build a community of 100,000 people, do you know what you have as a personal brand? And the best way to build a community is by having a personal brand. Your personal brand is the easiest way to build a community. So that's that. I'll keep for that. So I'm not going to talk about the benefits of having personal brand in 2025 because I've talked a little about it, but I'll just say it increases your professional visibility, higher trust and authority, more speaking engagements, job offers or collaborations, easier transition into thought leadership, entrepreneurship, and the rest. Personal monetization opportunity. Personal branding is the easiest way to build a community, as I said. So this part we are going to leave. I listed out some personal brands to look out for, but if you look around, you see personal brands. So monetization of your personal brand. How do you monetize your personal brand? Now I have less than 6 minutes. So there are many ways to monetize your personal brand. Or Mr. Segun, should we leave this part for the next section?
This one that has to do with money. You have to say it too.
Ah, I think we should ask the audience. Please,
Ah,
if you want us to talk about it now, let me see your reaction. So I'll know if I should just leave it or talk about it. If you
uh,
want us to talk about the monetization now, I'm seeing just Mr. Shegu, which means I don't think other people, I think other people want us to have it on the next section. So I'm only seeing
no,
one person who is dropping a reaction on that. So, okay, well, it's okay. Okay. I'm seeing only two persons. Oh, just two persons. Okay. But okay, I think one is a number, two is a crowd. Okay. I'm seeing Bukola. Okay. I'm seeing, I think this is better now. It's better now that I'm seeing all this. All right. So, monetization. How do you monetize your personal brand? One is speaking engagements. Uh, Imagine presenting this personal brand in a platform I know that actually charges people to be part of it. Imagine having this presentation in an enclosed space of just 100 persons, and probably Mr. Shegu charges 10,000 naira for those 100 people. Just add the zero. Just add that zero from 10 so that you know what we're talking about here. So that's how, if you know a lot at a point, people will start calling you for speaking engagements. Another part is consulting services. Um, if or a connection from LinkedIn reached out to me on WhatsApp the other day and was asking me some certain things. When I saw his message and saw some of his personal messages, I smiled. The reason I actually smiled is that sometimes some of these things, once you move away from the professional space where they share insights, anything that makes you move from the public space to the private space, here you've crossed the line between personal brand and the financial aspect of personal brand. That becomes consultation. So that is that. Another part is courses, ebooks. I think most of us you know about this ebook. About okay, the happening thing now. We know about our sister Hilda Barsi. We know there was a time she and funny thing about these things that they don't go out. Once you've made them, they remain there. Somebody might actually buy them in 2065. See the way I talked about Tom Peters. From 1997, Tom Peters talked in an article where he named a brand called You. In 2020 something, personal brand became a thing. We went and brought that out, which is to tell you that it remains there. Another part is affiliate marketing or brand collaborations. Once you become good in this, people can people can pay you to help market them and the rest of them. Collaboration. I'm collaborating with Mr. Segun on this. There are some collaborations that are only coming out of it and the rest of them. So we also have career advancement, higher salary offers. If you have a personal brand that is very strong, over time you might just tell your boss that, sir, I don't like the way my leg feels on the tiles in this company. I feel the tile is too hard for my feet. I think I want to look for another shoulder. Nothing to your shoulder. There is nothing wrong with your shoulder. It's just how you woke up in the morning. So you will have this easier access to career advancement. I don't know if so I've forgotten the lady's name, but the lady that was on show the other time that brought about her that during her citation they were listing she as a marketer for Netflix, for Nike, for this, for that, for like we had a whole list of brands and companies this lady has worked for. One of my priests will always say that a job well done brings about other jobs as a reward, meaning that the reward for a job well done is more work. So when this happens, when your personal as a personal brand is growing, your financial capabilities as well grows with it, and your value increases. So we also have what not to. This part is very important. What not to do as a personal brand. What not to do as a personal brand. Please, as a personal brand, there are a few things you should not do. They are as important as anything. There are things we shouldn't do. Mr. Shegu and everybody, I'm very sorry. We just arrived at 9 p.m. And I know that, yes, this is the time we promised you people. But please, just give me this grace to just list this what we shouldn't do as a personal brand. Please, please.
All right, no problem. It's
Can
fine.
I go ahead? I will just need
Yes.
your reaction. Can I go ahead? Because I
Yeah,
know
yeah,
we are civilized here. Mr. Shegu, you know we don't have the final say. So okay, you've given your own say. So if I see other people as well,
yeah.
okay, 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 I'm seeing that. Okay, so there are things we shouldn't really do with our personal brand. One is we should understand oversharing personal details. There are some personal details that will dilute our message. We should avoid oversharing personal details because they will dilute our message. There are some personal details that does not really align about you, that does not really align with your brand. There are some personal details. So keep it off the social. I'll always tell people that celebrities are the most secretive people and private people. I will say this again. Celebrities are the most secretive and private people. Do you know that celebrities only show us things they want us to see? If celebrities want to show things, social media will not be enough because almost everything they do is celebrated. They streamline, they carve things they want you to see, and they put it there. There are so many parts of their life. We must have heard this word, don't meet your hero. Most times when you meet your hero, those people you've always been seeing from a distance, they are like this. Most times when you get to meet them, you will discover a whole different thing about them. So that's where sometimes they keep those things out of the reach of their target audience. So don't mix oversharing with this. Another part is inconsistency across platforms. I don't need to stress, I've talked about it, so I'll leave it. So, negative or controversial behavior online. You shouldn't be seen dragging somebody for doing this or trolling somebody on Twitter for every single thing. From recently, we have Coldplay. We had a CEO go to Coldplay concerts on Romeo and Juliet's escapade. And I don't know if we actually saw the magnitude effects of just few hours of fun, what's supposed to be fun. Did you see the magnitude it had on his personal brand, company, personal life, family? friends. So we should avoid this negative or controversial behavior, both online and offline. Another part is chasing trends without alignment. Chasing trends without alignment. You are building a personal brand. We'll talk about this sometime later. Personal brand is different from influencer. Yes, you're an influencer, oh, but a personal brand is not fully an influencer. A person's personal brand is not fully an influencer or a person with a personal brand. Those two things are not the same. A personal brand works more on the value you give, educational. It is more educational, it's more professional. When we talk about personal brand, it is professional. Influencers, they chase trend. Followers, they have followers who they influence with mostly about trends and some other things that are about them. Those are influencers. Anything that can entertain their audience and stuff, or whoever their target audience are. Those in medical parts who are also influencers, their influence is more so. Personal brand is professional. Influencing is more casual. However, a person with a personal brand influences. Other time, an influencer can also have a personal brand. But
Yeah.
these two things mostly does not join. So we should know the difference. So don't chase trends that does not align. Like myself, Chuddy now, I will now start posting about um how Wizkid did this or how Davido did this on my LinkedIn, on my LinkedIn account. I can post that on my status, which can just go out after 24 hours.
Yeah.
You feel it is okay. But you see, giving that room to stay, it's a stain. So we should know. So another part is trying to please everyone,
Yeah.
trying to please everyone. You can't please everybody. You shouldn't please everybody. You shouldn't. It is not it is not even a thing. It's not a thing to please everybody. You shouldn't. So we should try as much as we can not to make pleasing everyone a thing for us in personal branding. So right now we are rounding up bit by bit. So we also have trying to please everyone. So we have personal branding versus oversharing. Personal brand is strategic. They are value driven. They create insight into your expertise and value. Why oversharing is unfiltered? It is personal drama. It is diminishing personalism. It creates whatever it creates and the rest of them. So this part is where I bring about that my call to action that I promised us that towards the end of this, I'm going to drop some insightful thing about personal brand. So if you've been here till now, I really appreciate you. I appreciate the host, Mr. Segun. I appreciate everybody who has been here. But I don't know, has this section been impactful? Has it been? It has been impactful. I would like to see our reaction to it. I would like to see our reaction. It has been impactful to this moment. Okay. Okay. I appreciate that. Okay. I appreciate that. So now there are some certain things. As I said, when I attended a program, middle or towards the ending of last year, initially I was more about building, but I was not building in the public. I was not building in the public. I was just building my career. I was just doing my work. I get work, I do my work, I deliver. I don't build in the eyes of the public. But when I attended that seminar, I've always wanted to, but it is very stressful for me as a person. Time constraint, it's a thing. It's
Yeah.
not something, it's like I just can't mix these things up. But when I attended that program, they explained something to me. They made me understand that apart from these things being important for you to build in the eyes of the public, it is also important to understand that your consistency differs from other people's consistency. People always think that I have to do this every day. I have to do this every minute. No, you don't have to. So if you are here in this midst and you're having issue starting a personal brand because you feel it is stressful, you don't have time, you don't have, I want to tell you something. Momentum building is the key way to do anything. Build momentum through consistency. Once you build that momentum, it becomes a habit. If you also want to go battling with habits, I think you should get the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. It will give you an insight on how to form habits. So just start with one post in a week. This
Yeah.
is my call to action to everybody. This is just my call to action. Use 6 days to prepare a post for just one day in the week. Just one. Forget about. See, do this for just 3 months. I'm not talking about doing. Okay, fine. Let's just say do this for just 1 month. Just one post every week. Meaning that you have to just post 3 times in a week. Just do this. That's my call to action. Do that. Then understand that your CV in 2025 does not really matter. Oh. It shouldn't just be on PDF. Your CV should be on your socials because that is how the world will perceive you, both online and offline. Even your colleagues, when your colleagues read some certain things you write, they should be scared of the person that, like, oh, sorry, for those who are not Nigerians, when we say somebody should be scared, it's not like a negative being scared. No, I'm talking about like they should have this fear of admiration.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
should like reverence you as a person, like, wow, so this person knows and shares to this extent. So that's so I encourage every single person here to try and just take, as Mr. Shegu told me, 1 hour at a time. So that is all. Thank you very much. I
Wow.
appreciate everybody here. I
Wow.
I I know that was on a fast lane, but I think now
Yes.
this is the only time I'll have to drink water because
Wow. Wow.
so
You
thank you
said
very
so
much.
much. Thank you. Yes. Thank you so much,
I really
Judy, for
appreciate us.
yes, for breaking down what personal brand is. You said a lot, and I know time is fast spent, but I also need to run down some of the things you said that stood out to me because that's what I do most times on the webinar, so that we'll take the lesson. You
Okay.
started out by okay, letting us know what personal brand is and how we can market ourselves, letting us know that personal brand is the way people perceive you. Do you understand? Because for me,
Yes.
I can even testify to that because since this year started, I've been consistent with my personal brand in posting about career related stuff and customer experience. So people are already
Okay.
perceiving me as somebody that they go to when it comes to career or when they want to clarify things regarding customer experience. Market yourself. And you said that is, you are the one that will determine how people will perceive you. It is your responsibility to let people know how people perceive you. Be strategic with your posts, be consistent, control the narrative, have a set of values too. There should be things that you should do and things you should not do. You also talked about having boundaries. It's not everything you post on social media. Not everything is supposed to be to the public attention. Do you understand? I like the part where you talked about how we can monetize it. Yes, because I know some of these things, but it was also good for us to emphasize that, letting us know that it could come in terms of consultation. That is when people see you as an expert or
Yes.
being knowledgeable in that industry, you could get consultation gig, you could get speaking engagements, you could create courses that you could sell online, you can create ebooks and templates. A lot of people do that on LinkedIn too. Affiliate marketing opportunities and brand collaborations. Someone like Ade on, she does brand collaborations with websites because they know that she's about a remote worker for ladies. So once they have a new product or things like that, they contact her to help them. So those are various ways in
Wow.
which you can, use your branding to then position yourself for opportunities. But I think at the early stage, you shouldn't be too bothered about, how you're going to make money from it. Do you understand? Be
Yes.
consistent
Yes.
about building. Do you understand? Being known for something, and with time, the opportunities will come. Another thing I always try to
Yes.
tell people is that people are always watching. Don't think that, oh, this my post, small post, he's seeing it. I had only 5 likes. It doesn't matter. Just keep posting because most of the time you see that your impressions are much, but the people that like are few. So people are saying it. So irrespective of whether they like it or not, it doesn't matter. Just stay consistent with what you do. And I like the challenge that you gave us that okay, just start with a post. I like that you are ending the webinar, with a call to action for us, for those that have not been consistent or those that are just thinking about, oh, how am I going to do this? So at least we have one thing that we can take out from here that will guide us to at least take us a step closer to what we want to do. Do you understand? So that was very brilliant. So thank you so much again for the time spent, and we really thank everyone for waiting up till this time. So this
Yes, we
video
do.
is